Hello, everybody. Okay, so this episode is going to be two things, a little pep talk and also some really important data points by marketing channel, because I feel like, okay, hold on, let me get to the pep talk first. We're in a time when if you are a service provider, which we all are, local service provider, then marketing is going to take more consistent effort than it ever has before. And we are especially damaged by our efforts in the way that majority of the effort that we put in is not going to our local audience, which I've talked about a million times before. So like within my studio building, there's a new business there, and this person just moved in like a few months ago. And she moved in from out of state. So it's like fresh start. No one knows about her. She does something in wellness. So being the curious little marketer, I was like, how is it going? How are your efforts of getting clients going? And then she was like, it's going really well. And she went on to describe how she's marketing, and it's all within our town. So I want you to think about that and like have it be a tiny little slippy slap to your face a little bit, because still the majority of family photographers I talk to, their marketing is to the literal world, to the world. And they'll put a ton of effort into creating a marketing piece, that is seen mostly by other photographers who are looking for marketing ideas. And I want that to sound a little harsh, because that's not helpful. And I'm not saying don't market on social media. I think marketing on social media is really beneficial if you strategize it so that it shows up to local people, is written for local people, is helpful for local people, and can be shared by local people to other local people. But for the most part, I don't see that going on. And it's really hard because every single feed, as a photographer becomes more established, single social media feed, no matter how hard they may not want it to, it becomes infiltrated with other family photographers looking at what they're doing. That's just like the nature of the business. And it used to be okay. I want to say this because I've now, since starting marketing in 2010, before Instagram was a thing, it used to be that it didn't matter to my Instagram if other family photographers were watching what I was doing, because my message still got to all of my followers, meaning 100% of my followers. I'm so sad for everyone who didn't get to experience Instagram like that. It was so fun. You could scroll and get to the bottom of Instagram. Like you would scroll through all your friends' posts and you'd hit the bottom and you'd be like, okay, I have nothing else to look at until someone else posts again. And then the second someone else posted again, everyone would see it. It was why they don't want to make it fun like that. Again, I'll never understand. I get they want to make money, but the user experience was so fun and it was so personal. And you didn't feel like you had to go seek out all these other things to look at, because it wasn't even the point. The point was to follow people and you see their stuff 100% of the time. Am I hopeful and secretly wishing that that is what will be the next iteration of social media? Yes. I hope that that's what it looks like again, but it doesn't look like that. Instead, what it looks like is you post, a handful of people see it. The chances of one of those people being your neighbor is almost zero. It causes then your brain to explode with frustration and feelings of failure. Basically, the point is the experience is not positive, right? I'd say that's true for the vast majority of family photographers that I talk to right now. And it was just like an extremely interesting conversation to talk to this person who has an Instagram account, but it's like a few posts and it's basically just to be like, yes, I'm a real person and I'm a local business. And then she has an ad that's running through Meta. But every other, like she was talking about connections and meetings she went to and how she talked to this it was just like she was only interested in physically with her mouth parts telling people about her business. And she has clients and they're coming in and out of the door. I mean, they didn't materialize from nowhere. And we're local service providers as well. So I feel like as an industry, This is where we're lost a little bit. And when I see other people teaching marketing, so much is just like, here's the caption you need to write. And it's like, it doesn't matter what the caption is if the right people aren't seeing what you're trying to say. So how do we localize this experience of marketing? That's like a big question that I'm trying to answer for people. So part of that is obviously search. And search has changed as well. Like we can't catch a break, right? We can't even take a breath in marketing because things are changing so fast. With search, it's the AI overview. Quick plug for a class I'm teaching on February 23rd at 9:40 a.m. It's a live talk class with a mini course. It's $35 for non-members and free for members. I'll put a link to it in the show notes if you want to come. It's just all about how to structure your blog post and website to show up in the AI overview, which is going to be a big part of search moving forward, especially when paid ads come into play there. So I want you guys to reframe a little bit, like actually do a complete reframe and hyper focus on any marketing effort right now that helps local people to see what you're doing in your business. Like that's the move. You want other humans in your town to look at you. That's all our goal is right now with marketing. So what does that look like? It might not, unless you had a series on Instagram that was like, I'm going to create one to showcase. Is going to be for pregnant women in my town. And like, so the goal of that series is how can I get pregnant women who live in my town to pay attention to my account? That would be the whole goal of marketing on Instagram. I don't care about likes. I don't care about views. I don't care about all these people that are still in these engagement groups and getting 100 comments. Everyone's like, how did they get those comments? Does not matter. It is not real. It's a fake thing. If they're doing it for whatever reason, for whatever they're doing it, that's what's happening. It's not hard to like look through and see that that's what's happening. I mean, no shade to any of these people. They're doing their own thing. If they want to be in an engagement group and get a ton of comments on their Instagram account from photographers all over the country, it will be great to have comments and likes. It's not great for this local visibility though. And yet that's the metric we're comparing ourselves against, is this person who has a ton of comments. Still, how do we break this? How do we break out of this? We're still comparing. We're still, this person booked these and I couldn't. You don't know. You don't know what's happening. And it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, what are you going to do? Go to that person and be like, excuse me. Oh, you hear Rooney? She wants to be on the podcast too. She agrees. That was her yarp of agreement. Okay, so you need to break your brain a little bit when it comes to this, because what happened was a couple years ago, it became all about likes, comments, and how popular you were within the photography community, where everyone was sharing on photography groups and follow trains, and it just broke us to what actually matters. Like a successful photographer could have a very, very, very small localized following and just be, I don't edit this podcast, so Rooney better lock it up. So that is the thing, is they could have a small following, but be busy, which I talk to these people all the time, and those people, because the visibility is outside of social media, they're completely written off by the community at large in terms of their level of success. Meanwhile, we have people in engagement groups who get 58 to 62 comments every single post, and they're still struggling to get any clients, even though the perception is it's so trendy, the presets are perfect, blibbity blabbity blue. The same old shite. Okay. So we have to reframe. We have to reframe effort, what effort looks like. That's not good effort for most people. For most photographers, that's not a good use of time. Persistence doesn't mean that you're just going to keep banging your head against this wall, that's not working. You need to change. You need to watch the data and adjust. You're only caring about whether or not the marketing is working, not whether or not the marketing is popular. That's what matters. So we need to transition into viewing data as this way to see basically a math equation. Get it boring. Get it boring in your head. Nothing to do with visibility en masse, only to do with local visibility. Okay, so I hope that I get so many DMs every day, which I absolutely love. I will talk to anybody about marketing forever because it's my favorite. Also, side note, I want to say that the inside the membership on the 9th, we're going to be doing a focus group on email marketing as that's one of the booking paths that we work on in the membership. So if email marketing is something where in your head after that little rant, you're like, okay, well, I really want to get better at email marketing, there's going to be a class free for members. It's inside the community on the 9th. So if email marketing is something you want to learn more about, join the membership. We're talking about it. And then the next 2 weeks after that, or a week after that, I don't know how time works, I can't count, we're going to talk about the AI overview. So 2 things that are geared towards local visibility. So if you're like, what do I do? That's what you do. Okay, so most important data points by marketing channel. We're just going to run through these because I feel like people are lost a little bit on what matters. So we're going to start with Pinterest. Inside my broadcast channel thing, if you go in there, you'll see that I posted some Pinterest stats, 30-day Pinterest stats, and they're just crazy as always, like way better than Instagram. So what most photographers look at there are monthly views and impressions. Those don't matter. Those are very vanity metric centered. What actually matters is outbound clicks to your website. So that's literally the only metric that I look at on Pinterest. It's a long-term game. It's like a long-term game of traffic. Basically, that's what Pinterest is. Views mean nothing if people don't click or do anything with the post. They just scroll away. They never see it again. If they save it, that's cool. Like, hopefully they'll go back to it. But it's those clicks through the website that matter a lot to me. Okay, blogs, what most photographers look at, if anyone's even looking at blog data at all, which I would say that the mass majority of people aren't. They're looking at traffic and ranking of posts, and what actually matters is traffic to service-related blog posts, meaning like the ones that have the details that someone would look at right before they book. So like clicks from following the path from blogs to inquiry to pricing pages to contact form to online booking page. Those are the things that actually matter, because the blog and the homepage or the info pages support a booking decision. They're not just there for random beautifulness. Like, it's actually, how can we see a step that someone's taking from, oh, this is pretty, to, oh, I want to book her. Those are the helpful things. So we're not interested in if people are reading the blog and not doing anything. We're interested in how, are they actually clicking? Okay, social media, which ranted about this, but again, what most people look at, likes, follower accounts. What actually matters, saves, shares, profile visits, website clicks. So if you created a local series for moms about getting through the cold winter months, and you're like, every day for 5 days, I'm going to design fun weekend plans for you and your family. This would be a much better social media post to do than family in the snow. Okay, so let's say you did that, and the saves that you got were local moms who are like, oh, we're really bored and hate each other all right now because we're stuck in the house. She has an out for me. That's a good metric. That means that you created something that someone wants to look back on. Okay, so ads, what most photographers look at is cost per click and immediate bookings. What actually matters is click-through rate and cost per visitor. Because if you want to track your spend there, and you want to see how much it's costing you for people to click the button. And then once you have that data, what's cool is you can amplify what is working. And if it's not working, you can fix unclear messaging, or maybe your info page is not meaty enough, which I would say is true for most people. So good ads bring quality traffic because the people are building, they're like, oh my gosh, I'm a local mom. She does newborn sessions. Her work is beautiful. So my trust is like, I'm like, ooh, my little dinglers out front are like interested, I'm like, ooh, she's pretty. I like that work. That's what I want. Then I go to the info page. So now I've clicked, so you've paid for me to come through. Well, you better try to convert me because you already paid for me. But so often that's where the fall off happens. It's like, welcome to my webpage. Have fun trying to find anything. Or it's like, here's my info page. It costs $500. Contact me. And my contact form is a Harvard level application. Why do you want to work with me? Bro, they might not know. They might just know that your work is pretty and it could just be that. The complication on the contact forms must go in 2026. It's too much. If you have more than 3 questions, it's too many questions. Hold on, I gotta turn my page. Okay, email marketing. What most people look at is open rates because you're like, oh my, did they open it? Do they like me? What matters most is click rates, replies. Replies are huge. I still on my email list rarely get replies. I don't really ask for replies, but when I do, I basically jiggle around my house in a happy dance, knowing that anyone even replied to my email I sent. So obviously that's a good metric because it causes dancing. But that's what matters. Open rates, yes, but if you had a low open rate but high click rate, that's still a good metric. So clicks show intent. Clicking through always shows intent. Replies show trust, like, ooh, unless they're replying to be like, I hate you, which of course would cause the opposite of happy dancing, maybe some floor crying, but that's okay. We can move on from that. So let's go to, actually, that was the final one I had. So you can kind of reframe about what you're looking for with this data, and then you can use it to refine your marketing. Again, going back to the pep talk, marketing is going to feel like work in 2026. I wish it wasn't so. I wish it could be that I log on to Instagram and I say like spring minis, and all back in those days, 200 of my local friends and family who are following me on that app, 100% of them saw that. That is a metric I can't hardly get now. 100 local people who know and trust me to see what I'm doing. It's like a unicorn situation. So you need to use the data to be better. You need to reframe that it is going to be work, but the work can be strategic and it can be built through habits over time instead of guessing every day. You look for patterns. You look for trends, but not in the grand world of what's cool in family photography. You look for trends in what is working for your people who actually book you, what works, and then you need to pour more energy into that. The common problems that I'm seeing with people still right now, despite my endless rantings, are you're not giving your marketing enough. Can anybody guess what I'm going to say? Runway. You can't do something for a short period of time and then be like, see, it's evidence that I suck. It's not fair. You're not giving the data enough time. You need to have long runways. 6 weeks is like the minimum for any type of marketing that you're going to try. If you're going to create a local series, that series needs to be spread over a lot of time because we know that psychologically people need to see things a lot. And right now, hardly anyone's seeing anything anyway. So that series needs to go on your blog, and that series could be pinned to Pinterest, and that series could go to your email list. And that could be over the course of 6 to 9 weeks that you're doing that on that one marketing channel. What most people are doing is like, well, I posted about my minis and no one saw it. So I went to the business office and I burned my business license and now I work at Starbucks. This is just not what we want to do. Okay, I hope this was helpful. Again, AI Overview class on February 23rd. Email marketing class on February 9th inside the membership. The AI overview is outside of the membership, but members still get into that class for free. Okay. And I'm still doing one-on-ones, loving those. Just super in depth. You and I looking at your business, looking at your marketing, making sure that everything's aligned. Mainly the best thing that's come out of those is just defining what you're offering. I think sometimes it's really hard to make that decision alone because you end up second guessing it. So this way it's someone's saying, yes, it's a good idea, or no, let's leave that for later, and then pouring marketing channels into those offers. Okay, bye.